In a world filled with distractions, where truth and falsehood often blur, have you ever paused to consider the ultimate test of faith? Imagine a time of global chaos, a period of widespread deception, where the very fabric of belief is stretched to its breaking point. This is not the plot of a blockbuster movie. It is a reality that has been prophesized, a trial so immense that every prophet from the dawn of humanity has warned their people about it. We are talking about the coming of a single, powerful figure known as the Dajjal, or the Antichrist. His arrival will mark the greatest tribulation humanity will face before the day of judgment. The purpose of this knowledge isn't to create fear, but to build a shield of awareness and spiritual resilience. For the next few minutes, we will journey deep into the heart of this profound prophecy. We will uncover who the Dajjal is, explore the incredible powers he will wield to deceive millions, and, most importantly, discover the divine guidance and practical steps we can take to protect ourselves and our families from his great deception. This is a story of the ultimate test, a story that every believer needs to understand, not just for the future, but to strengthen our faith in the here and now. So stay with us as we unveil the truth about the greatest trial in human history. The name Al-Masih ad-Dajjal itself is a powerful warning. The Arabic word Dajjal comes from a root meaning to lie or to deceive, making him the ultimate deceiver. He is also called Masih, which means Messiah. But while Jesus, the son of Mary, is the true Messiah of guidance, the Dajjal is the false Messiah of misguidance. He will appear to offer salvation and leadership, but will lead his followers only to ruin. This isn't just a story of a charismatic leader. It is about a master illusionist who will challenge the very core of what people believe. Prophetic traditions have given us a clear and detailed description of his physical appearance so that believers can recognize him and not be deceived. He is described as a young man with a reddish complexion and thick, curly hair. But his most defining feature is that he will be one-eyed. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, emphasized this point by saying that your Lord is not one-eyed, a clear reminder that this being, despite his powers, is a flawed creation and not divine. Furthermore, between his eyes, the word kafir, meaning disbeliever, will be written. This mark will be visible to every believer, whether they are literate or not, serving as an undeniable sign of his true nature. The Dajjal will emerge from the east, specifically from a region known as Khurasan, which is in modern-day Iran. He will not appear in a vacuum, but during a time of great turmoil, conflict, and widespread ignorance about true faith. There will be years of deception leading up to his arrival, where truth will be seen as falsehood and falsehood as truth. He will be followed by a massive army, with a significant number of his followers being from the Jews of Isfahan. His rise will be swift, and he will travel the earth at an incredible speed, like a cloud driven by the wind, spreading his message of falsehood and deception across the globe. The true danger of the Dajjal lies in the extraordinary powers he will be granted as a test for humanity. These are not simple tricks. They are grand, earth-shaking illusions that will appear to be miracles, designed to shatter the faith of the unprepared. He will have control over the earth's resources. He will command the sky, and it will rain. He will command the barren land, and it will sprout with vegetation. For those who accept him as their Lord, their livestock will become fat, and their lands will prosper. But for those who reject him, he will cause drought and famine, leaving them in severe hardship. This will be a severe test of whether people's faith is in the Creator or in the one who provides them with sustenance. One of his most powerful deceptions will be his control over what appears to be life and death. Prophetic narrations describe how the Dajjal will confront a righteous believer, cut him in two, and then seemingly bring him back to life in front of a crowd. This astonishing act will be a powerful tool of deception, leading many to believe in his divine power. However, after this display, the righteous man will only be firmer in his belief that the Dajjal is the false Messiah, and the Dajjal will be unable to harm him again, revealing the limits of his power. He will also be aided by devils who can take the form of deceased loved ones, telling their living relatives to believe in the Dajjal, further confusing and manipulating people. Perhaps his most infamous illusion will be his paradise and hell. The Dajjal will bring with him two immense rivers, one that appears as cool, clear water, and another that looks like raging fire. However, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, warned that this is a grand deception. What appears to be his paradise is in reality hellfire, and what looks like his hellfire is in truth cool, refreshing water. It is a profound test of perception versus reality, urging believers to trust in the warnings of the prophets over what their own eyes deceive them into seeing. For a period of 40 days, the Dajjal will traverse the globe spreading his corruption. These 40 days will be unlike any other. One day will be like a year, another like a month, another like a week, and the rest will be like our normal days. During this time, he will enter every city and town on earth with two notable exceptions, the sacred cities of Mecca and Medina. Angels will guard the entrances to these two holy sanctuaries, preventing him from ever setting foot inside. This divine protection serves as a powerful symbol of where true safety lies. When he is unable to enter Medina, the city will be shaken by 3 earthquakes, which will expel every hypocrite and disbeliever, who will then flock to join the Dajjal. Given the sheer magnitude of this trial, a crucial question arises. How can we protect ourselves from such a powerful deception? The guidance we have been given is not meant to create panic, but to empower us with a clear path to safety. The answers are not found in physical strength or material wealth, but in spiritual fortitude, knowledge, and sincere reliance on God. This is not about fighting him with worldly weapons, but about fortifying the heart and mind with unshakable faith. The first and most powerful shield is knowledge. By learning about the Dajjal's attributes, his powers, and his methods of deception beforehand, we inoculate ourselves against his tricks. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, gave us such detailed descriptions for a reason, so that when the Dajjal arrives, believers will immediately recognize him and his falsehood. Understanding his limitations, such as the fact that he is one-eyed and that our true Lord is not, is a fundamental key to seeing through his claims of divinity. Secondly, we are advised to seek refuge in specific verses of the Quran. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, specifically recommended reciting the first 10 verses of Surah Al-Kahf, the 18th chapter of the Quran, as a protection from the Dajjal. This isn't just a ritual recitation. Surah Al-Kahf is filled with stories about trials of faith, wealth, and power, and reflecting on its lessons strengthens a believer's resolve against materialism and false ideologies, which are the very tools the Dajjal will use. Thirdly, sincere and consistent supplication, or dua, is an essential weapon. The Prophet himself taught his followers a specific prayer to be recited in every formal prayer, salah, after the final tashahhud. The supplication is, "O Allah, I seek refuge in you from the punishment of the grave, and from the punishment of hellfire, and from the trials of life and death, and from the evil of the trial of the false Messiah, Al-Masih ad-Dajjal." Making this a regular part of our worship reinforces our dependence on Allah's protection and keeps this great trial at the forefront of our minds, ensuring we are always spiritually prepared. Finally, and perhaps most counterintuitively, the Prophet advised that when the Dajjal appears, believers should stay far away from him. He warned that a man may approach the Dajjal thinking he is a firm believer,
but will end up following him because of the powerful deceptions he presents. This isn't a sign of weakness, but of profound wisdom. It is an acknowledgement of the immense power of the Dajjal's trial and the importance of not overestimating one's own spiritual strength. The safest course of action is avoidance, to flee from his presence and seek refuge in remote places like the mountains, preserving one's faith above all else. The reign of the Dajjal, however terrifying, is destined to be temporary. His downfall will be as dramatic as his rise, and it will come at the hands of one of the most revered figures in both Islam and Christianity, the Prophet Isa, Jesus, the son of Mary, peace be upon him. At the height of the Dajjal's power, as he besieges the remaining believers in Jerusalem, Jesus will descend from the heavens. His return will be a major sign of the end times and a moment of immense hope for the faithful. He will descend at the white minaret in the eastern part of Damascus, a beacon of truth arriving in the darkest of times. The believers, led by the Mahdi, will be preparing for battle when Jesus arrives. When the Dajjal, the great deceiver, sees Jesus, he will begin to dissolve like salt in water. Jesus will then pursue him and ultimately put an end to his reign of terror at the Gate of Lud, a location in modern-day Palestine. The death of the Dajjal at the hands of the true Messiah will shatter his illusion of divinity and mark a decisive victory for truth over falsehood. In conclusion, the prophecy of the Dajjal is not merely a tale of doom and gloom. It is a profound and comprehensive lesson in faith, discernment, and spiritual preparedness. It serves as a powerful reminder that the life of this world is a test, filled with trials that challenge our convictions. The story of the Dajjal pushes us to look beyond the superficial allure of the material world and to anchor our hearts in what is real and eternal. This knowledge equips us with the tools to navigate the deceptions of our own times, to recognize falsehood even when it is beautifully packaged, and to hold firmly to the rope of faith. By seeking knowledge, holding fast to the Quran, especially Surah Al-Kahf, making sincere supplication and understanding the wisdom of avoiding temptation, we build a spiritual fortress that cannot be breached. The ultimate message is one of hope and divine justice. It reminds us that no matter how powerful deception becomes, truth will ultimately prevail, and that with true faith and reliance on God, the believer can withstand even the greatest trial humanity will ever face.